Hi everyone, and welcome to It's a Wiggly Wiggly Podcast, the podcast where we explore the history of the Wiggles. I'm Bonnie.
I'm Sakura.
And we hope you enjoyed this episode of It's a Wiggly Wiggly Podcast. Hey folks, welcome back to another episode of It's a Wiggly Wiggly Podcast. I'm your host, Bonnie, also known as Teapot7. I'm here once again with my Wiggly co-host,
Sakura Didizo. Yes, welcome back to another episode of the Wiggly Wiggly Podcast, folks. And today we got a special treat from you because this is an episode you guys voted on pretty much after the last episode ended and such on the YouTube polls. So pretty much welcome to the very first episode where Bonnie and I are going to cover the very first time that the Wiggles were released to home media and such with Wiggle Time.
Yeah, Wiggle Time. Wiggle Time was the very first Wiggles video that was made, actually. There's actually two different versions of it. There's the 93 version, which is the very first Wiggles video ever released, and they actually remade it back in 1998 alongside Yummy Yummy.
Mm-hmm. And pretty much we're going to take a look at both versions in this episode today, and pretty much this most likely will be a very short episode and everything for reasons we'll get into later.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's not much information out there as to how the videos came about and stuff. However, I do know some production details on them, actually. Alright, so the 93 version was filmed in July of 93 in a studio in Sydney. And the sets were made by Greg and Jeff. They actually painted the sets. If you look at the video, you can see the sets. There's like a tree, there's trees in the background, and there's like different rectangles in the background. So that set was made by Greg and Jeff. They actually hand painted it completely.
Yes, that's right. Because pretty much, if you guys don't know this by now and everything, but pretty much the Wiggles at this point and everything are pretty much one of those people where like we're pretty much like, you know, they're not afraid to like pretty much get creative on their own and everything, and pretty much like whatever they have to build or whatever they have to work with, they'll pretty much do it with no problem at all.
Yeah, pretty much, definitely. And one thing I was gonna say, I think I talked about this in the previous Wiggly history portion for Here Comes the Song, but in the 93 version, you may notice that Anthony's wearing a green shirt. There's been a bit of a debate as to why he's wearing a green shirt. The reason Anthony claims that the reason he's wearing a green shirt in those videos is because he couldn't find the blue shirt he bought for the Here Comes the Song photo shoot.
Mm-hmm.
And he keeps using that green shirt all the way up until late 1995. So I assume it's because either he couldn't find it or because of blue screen. You know, because back then they were using blue screen. It wasn't until I believe Wake Up Jeff that they started using a green screen. So if anybody knows the true reason as to why Anthony is wearing a green shirt instead of a blue shirt, leave it in the comments below. We'd love to know. Anyway, now let's go on to the 98 version in terms of production. So the 98 version was filmed after the movie. So the Wiggles movie was filmed in early 97, about 5 weeks. And I think they spent the rest of the year touring, and it wasn't until December of 97 that they actually filmed the video alongside Yummy Yummy. And alongside that, they were filming their very first TV series, which was gonna air in July of 98.
Yes, that is true, and don't worry, we will. Bonnie and I will actually get to like both the movie and the TV show when the time comes.
Yes, we are gonna review the TV series and the movie. Which I'll be honest, I'm looking forward to the movie because I've seen that movie like 100 times when I was younger.
And to be honest, I'm also looking forward to both the movie and the TV show as well too, because I had never seen them as a kid.
Yeah, because like we said at the beginning in the very first episode, you are a new Wiggles fan. You basically knew about them, but you have like very limited knowledge of them, correct?
Yeah, pretty much, yes. Actually, okay, since we're on the topic of this right now, so pretty much, fun fact, Wiggle Time, or at least the 98 version, this was basically the only time I ever knew about the Wiggles, because basically when I was a kid, I used to be a Barney fan when I was a kid and everything. And the one Barney VHS I owned as a kid was Barney's House. And pretty much at the very beginning and everything, before they would start showing Barney himself and before they started showing Barney himself and everything, I would always see the one preview on Wiggles Time and everything on the VHS where they would play the song Quack Quack and everything. And basically, that's the only time I ever knew about the Wiggles and everything. Pretty much, I knew they existed and everything. I didn't know about them, but As a kid, and like I said, actually, yeah, I was actually talking with Barney with this about this earlier and everything. But yeah, as a kid, I don't really recall ever seeing any type of like Wiggles merchandise in any store. At least in terms of the type of stores I went to as a kid and everything. So pretty much that's probably like another reason why like I never really grew up too much with the Wiggles, just like due to the lack of like merchandise as compared to other shows like Thomas, Barney, Blue's Clues, and all that.
I think it's because at the time you started watching them, they were still brand new in the U.S. And
That could also be it as well too. Yes, because I believe that like Wiggle Time actually was one of the VHSs that like where the Wiggles was slowly starting to get into the U.S. Right?
yes, that one was the very first one released in the U.S. Any diehard Wiggles fan can correct me in the comments. I believe it wasn't until 2000 that Walmart started stocking the Wiggles in their stores actually. So that could be it because in '99, nobody knew who they were, and they were
Which pretty
slowly.
much makes sense because yeah, like I said, and pretty much I've been to Walmart as well too, and pretty much even the Walmart I went to and everything, I don't actually recall seeing any like pretty much any like Wiggles CDs or any like Wiggles videotapes or anything like that.
And actually, they toured with Barney when Barney was doing the Barney's Musical Castle tour. They actually toured as the intermission act. So the first act would end, and the Wiggles would come out as the intermission act. So they would perform while the actors performing Barney would take a break.
Ah, nice.
And that also helped, in exposing the Wiggles because after Barney's Musical Castle ended, they started doing their own shows, and I think that helped. So being the intermission act for Barney did help.
Which I mean makes sense because, like I said, the Barney VHS I had and everything did contain a Wiggles song. So pretty much, yeah, it would actually make sense for pretty much the team of Barney and like the Wiggles to like team up once in a while and everything.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, so let's get into the video itself. Now, this episode's gonna work differently compared to the previous two episodes we've done. We're gonna take a look at both the '93 version and '98 version of the songs. So let's say, for example, let's say Get Ready to Wiggle. So we're going to take a look at the '93 version of Get Ready to Wiggle and then the '98 version. Then we're going to talk about what we like, what we didn't like, and then we're going to give both a rating.
Yes, and pretty much seems that like most of the songs, since I have a couple and everything, most of the songs are songs that like we've already covered in like both like the Wiggles debut album and Here Comes the Sun and everything. Those songs were just pretty much going to give like a short little cliffhanger and everything, or at least like a Cliff Notes version. We're going to give like a Cliff Note version, pretty much like our opinions and such. And if you guys like, want the full review or at least want our full thoughts and everything, you pretty much you could check out our episodes on. You can pretty much check out our episodes based on where the songs came from and such.
Yeah, both episodes will be in the description below, so you can check them out.
Mm-hmm. And in terms of the new songs that we have not covered yet, on this series and everything, we will give a little quick review and everything. Again, probably do like a little Cliff Notes version of it, and then pretty much once we get to the album that the songs debuted in, we'll probably just pretty much give like a full thoughts on each of the songs and such.
Yeah, definitely. There's gonna be some new songs that the '98 version has, and that the '93 version has as well. That we're just gonna talk about them briefly, and then if you want to see our full review of the song, you have to wait until we review the actual album they came from.
Yes.
So without further ado, let's get started. Now the '93 version opens with Jeff being asleep, and the '98 version is the same thing. However, there's a bit of a difference. In the '93 version, Jeff goes absolutely crazy when the other Wiggles wake him up. In the '98 version, he just goes.
Yes, pretty much it turns, and actually like right off the bat as well too. That like, pretty much going for like the '93 version and everything. Like one thing that like Wiggles fans and even like first time Wiggle viewers like myself and everything will see is that like. Pretty much this home video definitely has a lot of energy going on for it, and the intro definitely does show. Especially with the '93 version, which pretty much, as Barney said, Jeff going crazy and running around and everything. Pretty much just seeing the energy and everything that the Wiggles are providing so far with the whole media and everything. It's actually pretty pleasant to look at, and pretty much all the first time I watched it and everything. Basically, there were moments during the home media, or at least like the both versions of Wiggle Time and everything, where it definitely did get a laugh out of me, and pretty much like if I was a kid and pretty much I had these videos growing up and everything. No doubt, I definitely would have had a lot of fun watching them.
Oh yeah, me too. So which version do you prefer of Jeff waking up, 93 or 98?
I might have to go with more of the 93 version, just for more, just for like the more zaniness, and pretty much you could tell like Jeff was having fun, pretty much filming that part and everything.
Oh yeah, definitely. I have to go with 93 as well. 98 version is not that bad, but
pretty much one thing that we will see in the 98 version and everything, like and now to be fair, like the 98 version actually does have like his fun charm as well too. It does have his energy as well, but there are also some other moments too where like some of the energy you will compared to the 93 version and such, pretty much you can tell like it's toned down a little bit, but not all too much and such. So yeah, that's all I gotta say on that one.
Yeah, same here. Anyway, so we're not gonna count that because it's just an intro, so
Yes.
So we move on to the very first song, which is "Get Ready to Wiggle."
Mm-hmm.
You want to take away the first track?
Sure, I will. So pretty much, if you guys saw our very first episode on Get Ready to Wiggle, not much all of it has changed and such. It's pretty much just the same thing, as it was in like, the 91 music video and everything. Just pretty much in the 93 version. It's pretty much sounding, quite similar to how it was in the 91 version and such. Good dances.
It's just much slower because I noticed that the 91 version the tempo's a bit faster, but the 93 version it's slowed down a little bit.
Yeah, it's actually you are right, and actually it's a lot more noticeable too in the 98 version. Which honestly, first time listening to the 98 version and everything, pretty much all admit, and that like the 98 version is actually very good too in its own right. Just a way to like was able to slow down. It kind of reminds me a little bit of like jazz music and all that, especially with the way the saxophone was like, or at least like saxophone and trumpet was going and everything. Like pretty much both versions were very pleasant to listen to from beginning to end.
Yeah, definitely. I'll be honest, I prefer the 93 version because I feel it's much more closer to the 91 version. But the 98 version is still great. Don't get me wrong. I actually grew up with that 98 version, and I still love it. It's a really good arrangement.
Agree. No, pretty much no arguments right there.
Now, as for the visuals, which is the most important part, actually.
Visual wise and such, I'm gonna have to give it to the 98 version just for more of the bright colors and everything compared to like the 93 version, honestly.
Yeah, and it also features every single Wiggles character dancing to the song, which I think is a really good touch, whereas the 93 version is just the four Wiggles just dancing to it.
Pretty much, yeah.
Which again, it's not bad, but come on. The more characters, the merrier.
True. Very true.
So for the 93 version, I'm going to give it an 8. And the 98 version, for the visuals, because I'm counting the visuals, for the visuals and the song, I'm giving it a 9.
Okay, not bad. Not bad at all. Honestly, yeah. For the 1993 version, honestly, yeah, there's nothing really in it that's bad that I could think about it. So pretty much, yeah, I also gave it an 8, and pretty much like you with the 98 version and such. I'm gonna give it an 8 as well.
So 8. I actually gave the 98 version a 9.
Yeah. So pretty much, I'm gonna get the 8 for both versions and such. Honestly.
Okay. Anyway, now we move on to the second track, which is "Here Comes the Bear." And honestly, both versions are very similar. They're just the Wiggles dancing to the beat of the music.
Pretty much listening to dancing to the beat of the music, as well as like pretty much mimicking the moves that the animals are making during the song. So pretty much as I said in my version, "Here Comes the Song" and everything. The song itself is not bad and such. It's just not one of my favorites and such.
Now, something I discovered that originally I forgot to mention in the "Here Comes the Song" video is that the song was originally going to be about picking up the trash. It was going to be here picking up the rubbish, zooming. I think I would have liked it better if it was about trash, but
Yeah. But yeah, one thing I will say and everything, like pretty much having the visuals and such and having the Wiggles dancing does help the song a little bit. It does. Pretty much it does give it a more of an edge to it, and definitely does help make the song slightly more memorable and everything. But again, I wouldn't say it's like my personal favorite and such. But yeah, just like as Bonnie said, both the 93 and 98 version pretty much go like head to head together. There's not really that much of a difference. So pretty much it just all comes down to like visual wise on like which one would you rather watch a little more and such. And which honestly to me, like both the 93 version and 98 version, I could pretty much just watch either one of them, and I'll still be happy either way.
I'm gonna give the slight edge to the 98 version because the 93 version, well, this is just a nitpick, but the 93 version has a bit of an error in during the part where they go kangaroo jumps. Instead of you hear Anthony's voice, but instead it's Mari singing. It's like, hey, that's not your voice. That's actually Anthony.
Well, actually, that is my voice right now. That's one of my many tricks when being when you become a Wiggle. You can voice anybody.
But yeah, that's just a nitpick. But yeah, I'm gonna give it the slightest edge to the 98 version, just because I think it's a bit more colorful, and I love the new moves that they made for that version. Well, technically they're similar, but I just kind of like how they did them in the 98 version compared to the 93 version.
Mm-hmm.
And as for the final score for both of them, I'm gonna give the 93 version. I'm gonna give it an 8 as again, and
Okay.
and the 98 version, I'm gonna also give it an 8. So both of them are tied.
All right. So for me, both the 93 and 98 version, I'm gonna give it a 7. Honestly.
7. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Up next, we got our very first new song for the video because this is the first song we haven't covered in the podcast as of yet, and that's Captain Feathersword. Take away this one.
Alrighty, so pretty much Captain Feathersword. So far, first, like in terms of like the intro and introducing Captain Feathersword, it's actually pretty good and such. Pretty much gives an idea about like who this captain is as well and everything. What type of character pretty much he is, or at least like he's going to be. The more we see of him and such, and right off the bat, I am definitely going to give it to the 98 version for the intro and everything, because like pretty much in the 98 version there was a lot of heart and a lot of passion going into that intro and everything, and pretty much the actor that does play Captain Feathersword and everything, he really does nail this. Pretty much I was telling Bonnie this and everything, but he was born to play Captain Feathersword, no questions about it.
Oh yeah, Paul Paddock is Captain. It's one of those rare instances where the actor is the character.
Yes, pretty much, no arguments right there. And pretty much as for the song itself, it's a very good song. Like pretty much a good little captain song and everything. Understanding what it means to be a pirate and such, and pretty much the instruments also does help in getting the kids to move along and do some of the actions with the Wiggles on live, pretty much on the TV and such. So pretty much in terms of like visual and instrument wise, a very good song, very catchy, and like I said, does a really good job introducing or at least showing like what Captain Feathersword does. So in terms of the 93 version, I'm gonna go ahead and give it an 8 and such. But for the 98 version, it's actually going to be the first time. For the 98 version, I'll give it a slight edge and give it a 9 for pretty much improving the intro and such.
Oh yeah, nothing against the intro to the 93 version. In case anybody's wondering, Anthony created Captain Feathersword, and he actually played Captain Feathersword up until 1996.
Yes,
and of course, he was the first actor to portray Captain Feathersword. Well, the first person to portray Captain Feathersword, and his portrayal is. You can tell it's just he's still developing the character. It's not
pretty
bad.
much, yeah.
It's not bad, but I'll be honest, it's slowly starting to get better. Once they hire Paul Paddock, that's when the character completely transformed, and you can tell there's a big difference between the two.
Agreed, pretty much agreed, right there.
All right, so as in terms of the visuals, both are pretty identical, but again, I'm gonna give it the slightest edge to the 98 version. because I just love how the intro to the 98 version, especially how Paul Paddock, he's Captain Feathersword, he's born for the role, and you can tell he's having a lot of fun with portraying the character, especially when he tickles Greg like twice, and he's like, "Oh no, Greg, no tickling, no." Did he tickle me? I thought
yes.
So. I thought so. Now, Captain, please, no more tickling, Greg. We just do a pirate dance then. I just love like his portrayal of the character is so good that I'll be honest. I'm gonna give it a 10 to the 98 version.
All right. Well, actually, I don't blame you right there. Like, pretty much like we said, he was born to play Captain Feathersword from the very beginning.
Yeah, and as for the 93 version, this one's gonna be tricky. I was originally gonna give it a 7, but I'll be a little bit more generous and give it an 8.
Alrighty. All right. So right now, 98 version, at least in terms of your rating, it's definitely way ahead of the 93 version so far.
Not for long, because look what we got next. Uncle Noah's Ark.
Yep. Here we go. All right. Actually, you know what? Yeah. Go ahead and take this one away.
All right. Let me just start by saying that the 93 version is a freaking masterpiece. Considering the low budget they had at the time, they did what they could, and they did an amazing music video for it, using puppets, cardboard flats, I think, of the horses and all that stuff. It's a masterpiece. The music video is a masterpiece.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the 98 version, I have one word to say it. I have one word to describe it.
Wow, that's a lot of hay.
That's a lot of hay, and this is a disappointment. Yeah, the 98 version, honestly, the 98 version is not good. Because they had a higher budget back then. They could have used it, but nope, they just opted to dance on hay. Yay.
Yay. Pretty much all the hay that could have been used to feed horses.
But yeah, honestly, yeah, you know where this is going. The 93 version gets a 10 because considering the budget they had, they used that budget to their advantage. And the 98 version is just so disappointing. I'm gonna give it a 5.
Wow, that low, huh?
Yeah, like they could have improved it, but nope, they just decided to dance on hay.
All right. Well, again, as for me and everything, I did mention that, like, pretty much the music video. Actually, the music video was one of the reasons why, like, I wasn't too harsh on like Uncle Noah's Ark back when we first listened to it on Here Comes the Sun and such.
Yeah, and actually, now that you mentioned that, we listened to the live version that they did for ABC for Kids in Concert, and I'll be honest, that version is the best out of the versions we've heard.
Pretty much, yeah. And pretty much looking at the music video as well again too and everything. Pretty much outside of the little blooper when it comes to the person in the not Dorothy costume. Pretty much outside of that, though, the music video was still fun to look at and everything. It definitely complements the song very well and such. To a point where, pretty much, I'll be honest, the song is starting to grow on me the more we listen to it and such and everything. And like I said, the music video does a really good job in capturing the song. I have no problems giving the music video itself an 8 out of 10 and such. And in terms of the 98 version and such, I will admit it is a very huge disappointment to pretty much go for like what the 93 version has, to just having the Wiggles dance on hay and such. When pretty much, as Bonnie said, it did have a higher budget and pretty much they could have at least tried to at least build a different boat, or at least, or at the very least, have the Wiggles like dance like outside the ship and everything, or at least have some effort be put into it.
But you know what? I can give them the benefit of the doubt because they were very busy at the time. They were not only filming this video on Yummy Yummy, the 98 remake, but they were also filming their first TV series as well at the same time. So,
Yeah. And pretty much is one of the reasons why, pretty much outside of the laziness of the set and everything, the song itself is still not all that bad. So I'm gonna be a little bit more generous and give it a 6 for the 98 version.
And one more thing I forgot to mention is that Mari gets straight to the point in the 93 version. With the intro, he gets straight to the point.
Yes.
Whereas in the 98 version, he talks a little bit more slower, and the other Wiggles don't play much of a part, except Greg coming to tell him about the donkeys. Whereas in the 93 version, all 4 are involved, and they're doing the actions they're showing you the actions, I should say.
Mm-hmm. So next, we're going to be talking about is Ponies for the 98 version.
Now, Ponies is a song that was recorded for Yummy Yummy back in 1994, which actually is the next album after the EP.
Yes.
And I'll be honest, this is a great song, and the music video, the 98 version music video they did for it, fantastic. I love it.
It is. Actually, I will admit, it definitely took me by surprise seeing the kids dress up as ponies and such. I was actually not expecting that, but actually, hey, I give them A for effort for putting the time to get the kids costumes and such while performing the song. And pretty much the song itself, it's very catchy, much short, sweet, to the point, kind of like the other Wiggle songs that we've heard up until this point and such. And pretty much for the sheer catchiness of it, it's a very fun song. It's definitely very fun at the end of the day. So for the effort the song does go through and everything, I'm gonna give it a 9. Why not? It deserves it.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm also gonna give it a 9. It's a really good song, and the music video helps it a lot. So yeah. All right. Next up, we got
for 98 we have is Dorothy the Dinosaur.
All right, this one's pretty interesting. Take it away. Take away this one.
Okay, so pretty much, so right off the bat, in terms of how different the intro is. Pretty much in the '93 version and such. Before the song Dorothy could be played, the Wiggles had to find Dorothy and such. Which actually I do like the '93 version of like pretty much the introduction to Dorothy the dinosaur himself. It's actually pretty cute and very funny at the end of the day and such. Where pretty much in the '98 version, it just more serves as like as a little biograph to what Dorothy is and such, to pretty much to the kids that probably have never seen Dorothy before.
Yeah, basically it's just Anthony talking to the camera saying like, "We'd like you to meet a friend of ours, and not a person like you or me." And the intro's a little bit, and it's just Anthony in the '98 version, which it's not bad, but
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's not bad, but compared to the '93 version definitely has a lot more laughs to it and such.
Yeah, in terms of the intro, I'm gonna give it to the '93 version. But as for the music video itself,
honestly, for the music video itself, it could go either way and everything. Like, I'm gonna give it a slight edge to the '93 version because actually I do like the bit with the little kids and everything, especially that one little kid I was playing the dog catcher and such. Pretty much all admit that, like, I had a good laugh and such seeing the dog catcher kid pretending to faint at the sight of Dorothy the dinosaur and having him mouth out, I take it that there's Dorothy the dinosaur and such.
Yeah, actually, those little kids in the '93 version are actually Anthony's nephews.
Yes, that is right.
Nieces and nephews, I should say.
Yeah, yes, that's right, and pretty much I thought they actually did a very good job on like pretty much giving their best performance in the '93 version. Pretty much you could tell that like some of the kids in that video were having a lot of fun, just dancing along to the songs and such.
Oh yeah, and actually the dog catcher, the little kid that played the dog catcher in the '93 version is actually the Wiggles' current manager as we speak.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, that's a fun fact right there for you folks.
Yeah, I think his name is Luke Field, and he's been the Wiggles manager since I think 2020, because his father, which is Paul Field, Anthony's brother, he used to be the Wiggles manager from '96 to 2020, and then when he left, that's when Luke Field took over. He's currently the Wiggles manager as we speak.
Nice. Alrighty. But yeah, in terms of like which music video I like a little bit more. Like I said, I'm gonna give a slight edge to '93, but honestly, nothing's gonna top the '91 version of Dorothy the Dinosaur from both versions. Honestly.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I'll
be honest. Go ahead. My bad.
I know. I was just gonna say that, like, in terms of like music and everything, yeah, like I said, '91 version trumps both of them. Very hardcore.
Yeah,
no questions about it.
Absolutely. In terms of music video, all right. So for me, in terms of the music video, I'll be honest, I'm not really that big of a fan of either. Mm-hmm. I'll take the '92 video that they did at Darling Harbor over them, because at least with the Darling Harbor one, they yeah, it was low budget, like really low budget, but it had a charm to it,
It did. It definitely had a charm, and you could definitely see a lot of people having fun at the end of the day. That pretty much that's what added the charm of the original video to begin with.
Yeah, and I think the '92 video that they did at Darling Harbor is so unique. It's so unique that it has this uniqueness to it that makes me love it a lot.
Understandable.
The '93 version is not bad. I'll definitely give props to Anthony's nieces and nephews for playing the characters. I'll give them props to it, and they did a good job. But I think the turnoff for me in the '93 version is Mari's performance as Dorothy.
Yeah, honestly, I was gonna say the same thing. It's like pretty much what the '93 version had in terms of the nieces and the nephews and everything pretty much fall flat because when looking at it as well too, and especially in the intro, you can kind of tell that like whoever's in a Dorothy suit and everything is pretty much done with life and such. I pretty much just wanted to get this music video over with.
Yeah,
honestly, I didn't really get that much sense of like not necessarily creativity, but pretty much I felt the sense of like I said, the Wiggles were kind of just want to like get this video over with as soon as possible.
Whereas the '98 version, you can tell that they really gave it all their energy.
They did, and the people playing the dog catcher and the police officer and in the '98 version and everything, especially the police officer as well too. Pretty much you could tell they were having a lot of fun. They were having a lot of fun dancing along.
Actually, with the song. The police officer, the officer's name, Officer Beeples. She at the time, because I know it's non-binary right now, but back then it was a female. She was played by I forgot her name. I think it was Leanne Ashley, and she was the choreographer for the Wiggles for a number of years.
Nice.
And the dog catcher was played by Paul Field, Anthony's brother,
Huh.
and at the time current Wiggles manager.
Alrighty.
And you know, and you can tell whoever's in the Dorothy suit gave it all their energy to the performance.
Agreed. I definitely agree right there.
And let's talk about Dorothy's voice in the 98 version. It's fantastic. I think the voice actors they got nailed Dorothy.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, as for the 90, anyway, now let's get to the scores for me in terms of the video.
Right.
93 version, I'm gonna give it a 7.
Okay.
And for the 98 version, I'm also gonna give it a 7. So both of them I view them equally.
Yeah, honestly, same here. I mean, like, at the end of the day, they're not bad and such. But again, compared to the 91 version, these two versions, like, despite some of the pros they do have, it's still lackluster at the end of the day. That honestly, yeah, I do agree with you. I do agree with you, and that, like, they both do deserve a 7.
Yeah, honestly, if we had to rank the 92 version they did Darling Harbor, that one I will give it an I.
Mm-hmm.
But we're not gonna include it for this video. So anyway, what do we got next?
All right, so up next we got is Whenever I Hear This Music and such.
All right,
and
this one does have some differences between the two. Let me go ahead and take away this.
Go ahead.
Now, the 93 version and 98 version are nearly identical in terms of you know, the song structure, but there's a bit of a difference between the two. Obviously, the first one's instrumentation. The second one is that they changed up the lyrics a little bit in the 98 version. For example, in the 93 version, the first verse was like, no, turn your head from side to side and then wave your hands way up high. Whereas in the 98 version, it was nod your head up and down and then twirl your hands round and round. So they basically changed up the order of the lyrics a little bit. And in terms of which version I like better, I'm gonna give it to the 93 version because I like the instrumentation in that version compared to the 98 version better.
Alrighty, pretty much understandable.
Anyway, so as for the 93 version, I'm gonna give it an 8, and for the 98 version, I'm gonna give it a 7.
Alrighty. Honestly, like, okay. Honestly, for this one, I'm gonna give a slight edge to the 98 version because, due to the fact that, like, at least there's the dance moves and everything in the 98 version. Pretty much, I could tell the Wiggles had a little bit more energy to it when it came to like dancing and everything, and especially with the way the instruments were playing in the background as well too, and everything. Definitely felt a little bit more livelier and such. But at the same time, the 93 version is still very good too. It's still very catchy and such, and pretty much the energy the Wiggles had in the 93 version was still also pretty good as well too. It wasn't like it was lacking anything, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely. That's what I was gonna say. So yeah, what do you give both of them?
All right, so for 93 version and everything, honestly, yeah, for 93 version I'll give it a 7, and then for the 98 version I'll give it an 8. Next up, before we do anything else, do we want to talk about one? Do we want to talk about one of the, I guess we could say intermissions for this, but do we want to talk about the coloring book trick real quick?
Yeah, let's talk about the magic. Yeah, during the video, there's an intermission of Magic Greg doing his skit, and for this video, we get the coloring book skit.
Yes, and pretty much both versions actually have a lot of charm to them and such. For the 93 version, basically, we just have Greg showing off the coloring book and everything, and wanting the kids to help draw some pictures as well as throw colors at the coloring book and everything. And while that's going on and everything, the singer-song for Polly from Here Comes the Song is actually playing in the background and everything. And pretty much it actually does serve as like a good little background song for the magic trick that Greg is playing. But I will admit, like, the other background song they got for the 98 version is definitely a little bit more better and such, in my opinion, and everything.
Yeah, I actually prefer the 98 version background music compared to 93 version. But
honestly, same here, yeah, because like in the 98 version and everything, it definitely feels like Greg. It definitely feels like Greg is putting a little bit more energy as well too. Pretty much when like interacting with the kids and everything, and asking them for help and such.
Yeah, definitely, and you can tell he's giving it all his energy. He's got some charisma to his performance. Like there's one part where before he finds out there's no color in the picture, he's like, let's put the color inside the pictures, and you can tell that line he delivered it with charisma. You can
He
tell.
did. He definitely did. Although there is one thing I will give to the '93 version, it's definitely at the end where pretty much like Greg just like vanishes through the air and everything, and pretty much Jeff and Anthony just look at each other, just be like, "So what do you want to do now?"
Oh yeah, that ending is still hilarious. Like I bet they added that just to make the kids laugh. Like, oh, where did he go?
Where did he go? And then Jeff turns to them and be like, "Oh, he's right behind you." The kids are like, "Oh my god, I have Greg in my house."
But yeah, that ending is absolutely perfect.
Yeah, pretty much agree right there. So, honestly, the '93 version and '98 version are still both very good. Like, honestly, they could go. Hand to hand into like which version I would watch and such. Pretty much if I'm just bored and everything. So
All right,
nice.
next up, I think it was Henry the Octopus.
All right, so here we go. We have is Henry the Octopus.
And take away this one.
Alrighty. So pretty much, you guys already know that for Here Comes the Sun and everything, I pretty much rated Henry as number one. And pretty much for the '93 version, it's just pretty much the same as it was in the 1992 version and everything, which I'm all for of and such. And pretty much the '93 version, there's a lot of charm in that music video. Just seeing the nieces and nephews playing in the pool and everything, clapping along to the song and such, and having the person inside the Henry costume dancing along and everything. There's definitely a lot of charm in this music video that actually captures the heart of the song very well too. And pretty much, I will admit, first time I listened to the '98 version, I was interested in it. I will say, I wasn't too sure what to make of it at first and everything. The more we listen to it and such, pretty much the more I've grown to appreciate the '98 version and the changes the Wiggles made to the songs and everything. So pretty much instead of having Henry, being live in the backyard swimming pool, he actually lives underwater now, which actually makes a lot more sense and such. And pretty much will help the Wiggles pretty much give Henry more character and everything to do more stuff with him now that he's underwater. And pretty much the instruments as well too that in the '98 version and everything are still pretty catchy. Like they're still pretty catchy. Has the right kind of tempo and beat and everything that honestly the second time I listened to it pretty much all admit I was starting to bob my head along with the song and everything. So pretty much if I had to pick which version I like the most and everything, I'm still gonna give a slight edge to '93 and everything. But honestly, I still like the '98 version a lot. That it's one of the versions where I don't mind listening to it once in a while.
Yeah, same here. Honestly, in terms of the instrumentation, I'm gonna go with the '92 version / '93 version.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of visuals, '98 version wins by
Pretty
a
much,
landslide.
yeah.
Because I love the addition of those fish puppets that we're definitely gonna see them in the first TV series. Actually,
Ah, nice. Nice.
I
All
love
right.
the
Well, in
addition.
terms of the, all right. Well, in terms of the '93, yeah, in terms of the '93 / '92 version and everything, you guys already know I'm still giving it a 10, and yeah, I'm still giving it a 10 because it's still an awesome song at the end of the day, and the music video really does help capture it very well. But in terms of the '98 version, you know what, I'm still going to be generous and give it a 9 because again, the '98 version is just as creative as the '92 version.
All right, so for me, the '93 version, I think it's great. I think it's really great. I
Mm-hmm.
love that. They're having a lot of fun with this song and everything. But I'll be honest, I prefer the '98 version in terms of the visuals. But
Mm-hmm.
instrumentation wise, like I said, I prefer the '92 version / '93. And for the
Understandable.
'93 version, I'm gonna give it an 8. And for the '98 version, a 9 easily.
Alrighty, not bad. Not bad at all. All right, well, do you want to take this next song? Because look what we got. We got Rockabye Your Bear.
Oh boy. All right, let me talk about the '93 version first.
Go right ahead.
All right, so the '93 version, it starts off with Mari talking about we're having a teddy bear's picnic. Everybody's brought their favorite bear along, and then they start singing the song, which uses I think uses a different recording than the '91 version.
I believe you are right in that because one major change in terms of the '91 version and the '93 version is that pretty much they got rid of the bear at the end, where pretty much he's playing hey, turn that music down, I'm trying to sleep over here, hey.
Oh yeah, that was honestly the best part of the '91 version, and not having it here is understandable. But I'll be honest, I kind of miss that ending.
Yeah.
But overall, like, I think they did a solid job. The Anthony's nieces and nephews,
Mm-hmm.
and the Wiggles did a really good job in doing the moves and everything. And the music is really good. The instrumentation is really good. Now, as for the '98 version, okay.
So pretty much, okay. Honestly, I think you did actually mention that like "Rockabye Bear" was one of the songs you feel was overrated and such. And well, folks, this is the reason why. This is the reason why Bonnie felt that way.
Because the instrumentation for the '98 version, I think that actually, I think they recorded that version in '96, but it was a little bit different. But anyway,
I understand from the wiki and everything. This version of "Rockabye Bear" for the '98 version, this was taken from the movie soundtrack.
Okay, so they basically recorded it in '97, '96. All right.
Yeah.
Well, they kept using this backing track for the concerts up until 2012, I believe. Correct.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody in the comments can correct me. And yeah, you can tell. Yeah, the amount of times they use it in concerts, I've seen them perform this song in the videos, in concert videos, like a lot of times that I honestly at this point I'm like so tired of hearing that backing track. And in case anybody's wondering what the difference is between the '93 and '98 version is, that when they say then you turn around, there's a little yippee added, and that EP that they added is not that bad, but after a while it gets a little bit annoying for me. But I'll be honest, the '98 version is not that bad. I just wish they didn't overplay it as much as they did. But I can understand why, because this song is a classic, a Wiggles classic for a reason. But I'll be honest, like the visuals do help it a little bit for me, so it's not all that bad.
Nice.
So anyway, as for the '93 version, I'm gonna give it an 8.
Mm-hmm.
And for the '98 version, I'm gonna give it at least a 7.
Alrighty. Honestly, yeah, I really don't have too much to add on it. Like, honestly, both the '93 and '98 version, I'm gonna give it like, okay, actually, yeah, I feel the same way as you. '93, I'm gonna give it an 8, and '98 version, I'm gonna give it a 7 as well too. Honestly.
All right. Next up is.
All right, so next up we have is okay, this is gonna be fun. I'll take this one. We have "I Love It When It Rains" and such. And honestly, I'm gonna say it's right off the bat. The '93 version did this song justice and such. It really did this song justice. Honestly, like I was not expecting in the '93 version to have like a little like ballet performance and such, or at least like a little ballet duo and everything. But honestly, like you could have not picked a better way to capture this like really beautiful song in the end. Like just seeing the girls dancing along smoothly and everything as the instruments were playing. And hearing Greg's soothing voice as the song plays, it really does do this song justice and such. Pretty much just capturing like the beautiful slow melody and everything, and pretty much along with the slow dancing as the song goes along and such. Like it, pretty much, like I said, I can't really sing this music video itself any more praises. Like it does a really good job on pretty much capturing what the song is and everything. And turns on the '98 version. '98 version is still good. It does still capture like what the song is about very well and such, especially with the girls hugging their bears and everything and dancing along softly. But honestly, the '93 is just a masterpiece version compared to '98, and because of that, '93 version is getting a solid 10. No arguments there. Definitely no arguments right there. And as for '98, I'm still gonna give it an 8 out of 10 because, like I said, it's still a lovely song in the end, and I pretty much like that version of the song and everything still captures what the heart of the song is about in the end. So I can't really be too harsh with it at the end of the day.
All right. Well, for me, obviously the song is beautiful, very beautiful, and I like both music videos, but I'll give the slightest edge to the '98 version because I grew up with that version more, and to me at least, I think that version suits it more. The ballad, the '93 version is still beautiful. I will give it that, but I just feel more nostalgic towards the '98 version, and I think it's still pretty good, even to this
Understandable.
day. So for me, I don't have too much to say on this one. So for the '93 version, I'm gonna give it a 9.
Mm-hmm.
And for the '98 version, I'm also gonna give it a 9. I think both are pretty equal in terms of
All right,
Actually,
okay. So now this is where we're going to really differ between the 98 version and 93 version of Wiggle Time. So, what do we want to talk about first? Do we want to talk about Quack Quack first, or do we want to talk about Fruit Salad first?
let's go with fruit salad because that's the one I was gonna ask you if we could do first.
Okay, sure thing. Fruit Salad. You want to go first with this one?
Yeah, so fruit salad. All right, let's talk a little bit about fruit salad because this is the first time that the Wiggles recorded a song way before it appeared on another album.
Yes. And actually, another fun fact: according to Bonnie himself, apparently, at least in terms of his recollection, this Wiggles song was so popular that it's somewhat of a meme in some places.
Oh yes, definitely. Because I remember when I was still in high school, some classmates of mine sang "Fruit Salad" in my tummy, and I'm like, hang on a minute, that's actually the Wiggles song. I actually had no idea it had become a meme, and to this day, it's still very popular because even to this day, the Wiggles still use it in their albums and all that stuff. They titled an album "We're All Fruit Salad" at one point.
Hmm. And you know what? Listening to it the first time and everything, I could definitely see why it took off so very well. Because again, there's another song where like yeah, it's simple and popular, but it's just that simplicity and basically like the way the Wiggles handle it and everything, giving it like such memorable lyrics and such and memorable instruments that like there's no reason why one of the most recognizable songs to this day.
Yeah, and it's so easy to memorize and do the actions that it's a memorable song. Is what I'm trying to say. It's a really memorable song, and it's really catchy and really good.
It is, and definitely the music video actually really accommodates like what the song is about. It's just about like it's just pretty much as Dale Wiggle says. Yeah, they're making a fruit salad, and pretty much fruit salad is so easy to make. You can make one. You can make one at home too if you want.
Oh
If
yeah,
you're not
definitely.
lazy.
Just wait until we get to the '98 music video because I actually did a video for the '98.
Nice. So
I did,
I'm definitely looking forward to seeing that one.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, we'll definitely talk about it once we get to Yummy Yummy, the episode where we talk about Yummy Yummy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Uh, I'm gonna give all right. So I'm gonna give a brief score to this one. I'm gonna give it a 9 because it does the song justice in my opinion.
All right, and as for me, I'm gonna give it an 8 because, like I said, listening to it first time and everything, yeah, like I said, I could definitely see how the song became very popular right off the bat and everything, and like I said, yeah, First Impressions is a very good song, and honestly, I'm ready to give it another chance once we make it to the album that the song appears in.
Oh yeah, we'll get back to Yummy Yummy when we do we'll get back to fruit salad once we get to
Yummy, yummy, and
Yummy
such.
Yummy itself. Yeah. All right, so the next
All
one is
right.
a quack quack. So go ahead, take away.
Yes, and then okay, so yeah, like I said, this song right here, "Quack Quack," this was the only Wiggles song I ever heard as a kid and such. And so pretty much, like I said, anytime that like I put on Barney's house, pretty much this was a song I always got greeted to first before Barney came on. And pretty much once I saw that ship and everything, let me tell you, memories started coming back to me as a kid. Memories started coming back to me because, like I said, well, okay, actually, I should say this. Once I saw the clock in the intro and I heard that ticking sound, I was just like, wait a minute. And then pretty much as soon as we got to Quack Quack, I'm like, yep, that's the one. This is the one I always saw in Barty and everything. And pretty much listening to it and everything, pretty much it sounds just as much as I remember it as a kid. And listening to it again, like it's a very catchy song. A very catchy, very memorable, very silly too. And honestly, with all that combined and everything, it makes for a very memorable song in the end. Yeah, honestly, yeah, I really don't have much to say to it. Like, it just makes for a very memorable song in the end and everything. The intro with Captain Feathersword is actually pretty good and such. And honestly, just seeing him and the Wiggles dancing along while making, quack quack noises and rooster noises as well too. It's just a fun song at the end of the day. That like for this one and the music video, I'm gonna give it a solid. Actually, yeah, you know what? I'll give it a solid 9. A solid 9 out of 10.
All right, so I think the song is good, and the music video they did for it is fantastic. But in terms of the instrumentation, I'm gonna have to go with the movie version that came out in '97.
Okay.
I think you know which one I mean, right?
I believe I do. Yes.
It's the one where the key is a little bit different. Do 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 do. That one that plays in the
Yeah.
movie. I think that version is much better, but this version is still great. This version is still great. So for this one, I'm gonna give it a 9 as well.
Alrighty.
If this was the movie version, well, I mean, if this was the version with the instrumentation from the movie, I will give it a 10.
Okay.
But this one's a little bit different, but it's still great nonetheless.
Alrighty, so up next, before we move on to the last song, we got Marching Along and everything, and again, another like little intermission and such before we get to the final song. Both versions are just fine and such. The only difference is that like the '98 version is a little bit more shorter and stuff compared to the '93 version. But in terms of both versions, they're both passable for what they are and everything. Like again, catchy song and such. Pretty easy for anyone to.
I don't know if you want to count this one because this is mostly improvisation, from what I can tell.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Then yeah. In terms of rating, I think we should just skip the rating because yeah, like we said and everything, like it's just an intermission and such, and not a bad intermission, mind you, but there's not really that much to say on it, to be honest.
Yeah, it's just I think they made that song up in the spot when they were filming the '93 version. So to be fair to the Wiggles, we're not gonna count it.
Yeah. All right. So basically, to end off the video and everything, we're actually going to take a look at the final song released in both versions. Dorothy the Dinosaur's Birthday Party.
So you want to take away this one because I have a lot to say, so I'm gonna let you go first.
Okay. So in terms of like both versions and everything, in terms of the '93 version, honestly, okay, the '93 version actually did help like brighten my mood a little bit more to the song and everything. Because now that I listen to the lyrics and everything and understand what the party is about, I feel so bad for Greg in a way. Honestly, I really do feel so bad for Greg because, like, here's a guy that just wants to celebrate his friend's birthday party, and what does his friend Dorothy do? Well, how about I come over to your house and destroy your parents' garden and get you grounded for a life and everything? Thank you, Greg. Hey, do you mind if I actually bring my other giant dinosaur friends on over to destroy your house? Thank you, Greg. I really feel so bad for him at the end and everything. That honestly, like, it adds a lot of charm to the song and everything. That like I think the music video actually helps the song a lot in my opinion and everything. And again, like seeing the kids dancing along and everything, especially that one kid in the background and everything, like pretty much again just adds like a lot of charm to the song and everything. That honestly the '93 version does a really good job with the '92 version of Dorothy's Birthday Party. So pretty much, yeah, like I said, for the '93 version and everything, it does a lot to basically add a lot of charm to the original '92 version of this song and everything. And but then when we get to the '98 version and everything, the '98 version is actually pretty fun. I can definitely see why Bonnie prefers this version over the '93 version, I should say, or '92. Because yeah, like pretty much removing Dorothy's dinosaur friends and putting in the Wiggles cast and everything. Definitely does add to a lot of charm and such to the song and everything, and it definitely yeah the showing of the lyrics and everything. It definitely does help. It definitely does help get the point across to like how the birthday party went in the end. Anyway, so yeah, in terms of the '93 version and everything, I'm gonna give it a solid 8. And honestly, yeah, same thing for the '98 version. I'm also gonna give it a solid 8 out of 10 for both versions.
All right, for me on the '93 version. All right, so like I said in the Here Comes the Song review, I really don't like the '92 version because I just don't like it because I think the '92 version overstays its welcome too much.
Mm-hmm.
And the music video itself is still pretty good, but yeah, the '98 version tops it completely. The '98 version is, like I said, like you nailed what I was gonna say for the '98 version. It's short and straight to the point, and it's very short. It doesn't overstay its welcome.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, the '93 version gets a. I'm gonna give it a 7.
Okay.
And for the '98 version, I'm gonna give it a solid 9.
Okay. All right, not bad.
Yeah, and after that, this is where the '93 video ends.
Actually, yes. Yes, this is where the '93 version ends. To which I actually do like this joke and everything because it pretty much ties into like what happened in the beginning and everything. But I actually do like after the video, and Jeff was just looking at all the other members of the Wiggles that fell asleep, and he was like, "Oh," pretty much he was just like, "Oh, so I can't fall asleep in the beginning, but you can fall asleep at the end of the video. I see how it is."
And it's like, Wiggles, wake up, Wiggles,
wake up, Wiggles. Wake up, Wiggles, before the credits start rolling. What credits?
All right, so the version we watched a little behind the scenes is the one from the Wiggles YouTube channel, which cut out the credits in case anybody's wondering.
Yeah. And pretty much, yes. In the however, in the '98 version, they keep going with that by actually giving you 3 songs straight from the Wiggles concert live itself.
Yeah, that concert. Actually, let me give a little bit of a backstory in case anybody's
Go ahead.
wondering what that concert is. All right, so that concert, which was filmed in, I think it was in December of '97, that was filmed, or November, I can't remember.
Yeah, I think it might be '97 because it says here in production like okay, here's what I got. Okay, so in terms of the wiki, it says here the live footage from the Wiggles Big Show, the group's first ever arena tour, pretty much was filmed between November 7th and November 8th of 1997.
All right, so they were on tour at that time. All right, so
Yes.
that concert was filmed for a Disney Channel special in Australia.
Mm-hmm.
And it was only aired once from what I was able to research. It was only aired once.
Mm-hmm.
And it was considered lost media up until 2022 when Anthony finally uploaded it to the Wiggles YouTube channel.
Nice.
Unfortunately, the video in the Wiggles YouTube channel, while it's mostly complete, is missing some songs.
Mm-hmm.
And for a while, that was the most sought after Wiggles concert video ever. So anyway, the '98 version, I should say, my bad, has 3 songs. 2 of them are from the Wake Up Jeff album, and 1 of them is from the movie.
Nice.
So you want to take away the first? You want to talk about the 3 songs overall?
If you want to talk about them, we can still talk about them if you want, or if you want to save them from. Because I know that like originally you're still planning on like covering the concerts in their own videos, so I mean like it's up to you. It's up to you if you want to talk about the 3 songs or just wait till we get to the concerts. Concert part itself.
All right, I'll just give a brief synopsis of what you get in the video.
All right.
So the first song is "Wave to Wax," which is a song from the Wake Up Jeff album.
Mm-hmm.
The other one is "Five Little Ducks," and spoiler alert, the funniest one of the 3.
I pretty much I agree with you right there.
And actually, that skit where Captain Feathersword cries because the duckies went missing, that proved to be so funny that they brought it back for the OG Wiggles concert. You know those Wiggles shows to do for adults.
Yeah.
They brought back that song for the OG Wiggles concerts, and it's still the best part.
Nice.
And actually, I was watching the most recent one that they did in 2023 in December, and Captain Feathersword accidentally spit on Murray when he was laughing.
Oh God!
And Murray was like looking at him like, and he was trying not to laugh. Like both of them were trying so hard not to laugh.
Okay, that's actually very awesome right there. Honestly, that is very awesome.
The 2 of them were trying so desperately not to laugh, but they couldn't. They just lost it. And then the end. Apparently, the Wiggles are big fans of Weird Al Yankovic because the last song is a medley.
Yeah, it's Wiggly Melody. Which honestly, I cannot wait till we get to that song because. Okay, honestly, I guess I'll go ahead right now just to give like a little sneak peek when we get to that song. But honestly, that song right there might actually be my new favorite Wiggles song of all time so far.
Yeah, and it's still pretty good. It's like the Wiggles listened to one of Weird Al's polka medleys, and they thought they looked at each other like, we can do something better than that, and they killed it. They absolutely killed it, in my opinion.
They did. They actually really did. And honestly, I still listen to the movie version from time to time, and like it's pretty much it's still very amazing how they were able to do that.
Definitely. I that medley is perfect. There's another medley that they did for Yummy Yummy, and I think everybody knows where we're going with this.
Mm-hmm.
The puppets.
Those puppets, yeah.
Wait till we get to those puppets, cause
yeah.
Unlike the rest of the world, those puppets never actually scared me. The only thing that took me by surprise about them is that those high pitched voices annoyed the hell out of me when I was young. But yeah, anyway, so yeah, that's what you get. That's what you get as a bonus in the '98 version. After that, the video ends completely.
Yes.
and that was Yummy Yummy. Well, yeah, Yummy Yummy. What the fuck? I
Oh,
meant to say
oh,
Wiggle
wow, oh,
Time.
wow, oh, wow, oh, wow, oh, wow, buddy. I did not know we were watching Yummy Yummy this whole time. Man, you got us good right there, man.
I meant to say Wiggle Time 93 and 98. So final
Yes.
thoughts, take it away. You
All
go
right,
ahead.
so final thoughts. Okay, so pretty much for the first. Okay, so going by 93 first. So we can be fair for both versions. Going by 93 version first. The Wiggles actually did a very good job on pretty much with the very first go. I like home media release and everything. Pretty much the 93 version. Again, it's very simple and everything, but pretty much the 93 version definitely very fits on pretty much what we know about the Wiggles so far and everything about them doing simple things, but they're able to make something simple and still bring out lots of fun in the end as well too. And honestly, it definitely shows as well too, like for some of the intros as well, and a couple of the skits like the magic and such, or pretty much like the intro to Dorothy the dinosaur and everything. Like pretty much there's definitely a lot of fun to have with the 93 version that pretty much like, if I was a kid living in Australia and such, and I got this video for the first time and everything, I definitely would have had a lot of fun. I definitely wouldn't mind like watching it over and over again whenever I get the chance and such. All right, in terms of 98, in terms of how to remake the song and everything, remake wise and everything, they did decent. They definitely did a decent job remaking most of the songs and everything. And some of them did work. Some of them did work, and they definitely did give pretty much give the 93 version much needed improvements and everything. Especially with some songs like Henry the Octopus, Dorothy's Birthday Party, Get Ready to Wiggle, and everything, and even with some of the new gigs they put in as well too, like Ponies and Quack Quack, and even including the Contra right in the end as well too. So they definitely so the Wiggles definitely did a good job on giving the 98 version its own time, pretty much its own time to shine as well too, and not just make it like a carbon. Pretty much a carbon copy of the 93 version. So I definitely have to give them props for that in the end.
Yeah, same here. I like that the 98 version is not like a carbon copy of the 93 version. It's not like they copied and pasted, everything, and they remade the footage. They basically made it its own.
Pretty much did and everything. Which honestly like helps give like both versions their own little pros and cons in the end as well too. So pretty much like Barney said and everything. Pretty much if there's one song in the 93 version you thought like needed an improvement upgrade and everything. Well now you can go to the 98 version and get your upgrade right over there. And likewise, like if you thought that if you thought that something in the 98 version wasn't as good as it was in the 93 version,
you can go back to the 93 version and watch it.
And pretty much, yeah, you go back to the 93 version and just watch it from there.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, then, all right. So in terms of like my final thoughts on it, if I had to pick the two and everything, honestly, I might go with the. Okay, honestly, there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of good things from both versions. Sometimes it's hard to pick, and honestly, it could go either way. But right now, as I'm recording this with you right now, I'm gonna go with the 98 version, and the reason why I'm going with the 98 version is basically like basically due to the bright colors compared to the 93 version, as well as some like a very interesting and a very good dancing as well too with some of the songs, like especially with like with ponies and everything. Adding new material, like again, like ponies, quack quack, and even the song, and even the concert songs at the end. There's definitely a lot of stuff in the 98 version. That definitely does give it a slight more edge when compared to the 93 version. But the 93 version still has its very own charm as well too. That I definitely would not mind watching it again. Like pretty much if I was bored and pretty much I just want to watch something to kill time.
Yeah, all right, that's nice. For me, it's a no-brainer. To me, it's a 98 version because I grew up with the 98 version a lot. It's possibly the Wiggles video I probably overplayed the most besides Live Hot Potatoes from 2005.
Mm-hmm.
I think the 98 version for what you get, you get more than just the a remake of the 93 version. You get more for your money. Is what I'm trying to say.
Pretty much, yeah. I definitely do agree with you right there.
And the remakes they did to some of the songs were great, and sometimes I prefer the 93 version to some of them. Sometimes I prefer 98 version to other songs. Overall, both of them I think were really good videos, and if I had to watch them both, I will definitely watch them both, no matter what.
Nice.
So yeah, with that we've reached the end of our review of Wiggle Time. So you want to do
Yes.
you want to do the outro?
Sure. All right. So real quick, before we do anything, it's very possible that this might, now there's not 100% certain because anything could change. But as of right now, this might be the last episode in terms of the Wiggly Wiggly podcast we're going to record for a little while. And the reason for that is, because the reason for that,
we're gonna revisit some old friends we haven't seen since for a good long while.
Yeah, pretty much. So pretty much what we're going to be doing is that while you guys wait for the next Wiggly Wiggly podcast episode, Barney and I are going to go back, and yes, we're gonna go back and review the Railway series books, and pretty much we're going to finish up the books that were written by the Reverend Andre himself.
So because the 80th anniversary is just around the corner, and we gotta get ready.
Pretty much. So pretty much to celebrate and everything. Yes. So when we get to season 3, we're going to start with Galileo Engine and go all the way to Audrey's very last Railway series book. Well, technically last Railway series book, but its very last one, Tramway Engines and such. And then not only that, but Barney and I have also started rewatching season 9 as well too. We're still in the middle of doing our second watch through of the season and everything. So hopefully season 9 will be coming out real soon. We still don't know when yet, but it will come out soon.
Yeah. We apologize if the updates on season 9 stopped. It's just that go ahead.
Yeah, pretty much it was just like both Barney and I were suffering a little burnout in terms of like the TV series itself.
Yeah, we got a little bit burnt out, and the Wiggles podcast was a really exciting idea to us that we just decided to keep going. But we kind of realized that we were slowly running out of time to put out any Thomas content because the 80th anniversary is just around the corner, so we just want to catch up to it before it's too late.
Yeah, pretty much.
So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this episode of It's a Wiggly Wiggly Podcast. Again, this might be the very last episode for now. The podcast is not over. It's still gonna keep going, but we just want to focus on Thomas for a little bit.
Yes, and when we do come back, we're gonna take a look at the third Wiggle album and everything, and their EP. Basically, go ahead and give away the title.
Stories and Songs: The Adventures of Captain Feathersword, the Friendly Pirate.
Yes, and pretty much that's the album where like we get to see Captain Feathersword for the very first time. So
and it's a hybrid. It's a hybrid of a music album and a storybook album. So basically, both of them.
Yeah. So basically, not only are we going to review some songs, but we're also going to review some stories as well too. So pretty much be on the lookout for that. Pretty much be on the lookout for that Wiggles episode. Pretty much as soon as we get done with the really useful podcasts and such.
Yeah, definitely. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this episode of It's a Wiggly Podcast. If you guys enjoyed this episode, don't forget to hit the like button. And if you guys want to see more episodes of It's a Wiggly Wiggly Podcast or the other podcasts we've done, hit the subscribe button as well. Also, don't forget to check out our separate channels, OT7 for me and Sakota Diesel for Sakoa. Both channels will be in the description below.
All right, guys. Well, this has been Sakota Diesel with my good friend
Bonnie, also known as OT7.
And pretty much, as we said, thank you for tuning in to It's a Wiggly Wiggly Podcast, and we'll see you real soon for the next episode. But until then, we'll also see. We're hoping to see you guys real soon. By the time that season 3 of the Really Useful Podcast will come up to our YouTube channel. So until then, take care, everybody, and see you soon.